Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a trip way back in time to 2007 to talk about a legendary device that was once called the iPhone without the phone. Yep, I'm talking about the first generation iPod Touch. It's been almost 2 decades since it came out. But what's it like to use this thing in 2025? Let's find out. When Apple released the iPod Touch in September 2007, it was a big deal. The iPhone had just launched a few months earlier, and people were blown away by its touchscreen interface. But not everyone could afford an iPhone, or even wanted one tied to AT&T's contract. So Apple gave us the iPod Touch, basically an iPhone without the phone or camera. It had Wi-Fi, Safari, YouTube, and music playback, all inside that beautiful, slim metal and glass design. At the time, it felt like the future. You could browse the web, watch videos, and listen to your favorite songs, all on a device that fit in your pocket. In 2007, that was mind-blowing. Now, let's talk specs, or what passed for specs back then. The first-gen iPod Touch came with a 3.5-inch display with a resolution of 480 by 320 pixels. It had an ARM11 processor running at just 400 megahertz and 128 megabytes of RAM. You could get it in 8 or 16 gigabytes of storage, and there was no camera, no speaker, no Bluetooth, and no microphone. That's right, if you wanted to hear music, you had to plug in your wired headphones. Still, the build quality was premium, stainless steel back, multi-touch display, and that unmistakable Apple polish. So, what's it like using the first iPod Touch in 2025? Well, let's just say, it's both nostalgic and frustrating. The device can still boot up, surprisingly, and if you restore it properly, it runs iOS 1.1.5. That means no App Store, no modern apps, and definitely no iCloud. You get basic apps like Safari, YouTube, which no longer works, Contacts, Calendar, and of course the Music app. You can still sync music through iTunes. Yes, the old iTunes, if you can find a compatible version. Listening to music on it still feels magical, though. The click sounds, the smooth animations, and that old iOS design. It's pure nostalgia. But for anything modern, forget it. Websites don't load properly, Wi-Fi encryption standards have changed, and streaming services like Spotify or Apple Music just won't run. So the iPod Touch is basically back to what it was originally meant for. Playing offline music. Even though it's outdated, the iPod Touch First Gen represents something special, the start of a new era for Apple. It was the first iOS device that wasn't a phone, and it introduced millions of people to Apple's ecosystem. It also set the stage for the App Store, which arrived with the second generation in 2008. In many ways, the iPod Touch was a bridge between the iPod Classic and the iPhone. Without it, the world of mobile apps might have looked very different. So, in 2025, the first generation iPod Touch is basically a relic, a beautiful, shiny piece of tech history that reminds us how far we've come. It's not fast, it's not practical, but it's legendary. And holding it today feels like holding the beginning of the modern smartphone era. If you enjoyed this little tech time travel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What was your first iPod? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.